Hi everyone, NantenJex here to talk about Super Smash Bros. And what else is new. Previously I did a video speculating on all of the Persona content that we could have potentially seen in the Fighter Pass for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Joker, his stage, the music, spirits, classic mode, Mii costumes. I covered everything and I really enjoyed making that video. Then later I made a second video, this time going over all of the Dragon Quest content we'd like to see, and I did it in a more discussion-like format. See, Erdrick was such a hot topic in the community, and I enjoyed making that video too. So while I can, I want to turn this into a series where myself or another member of the Source Gaming team looks at a franchise that's not currently in Smash and talks about everything they could add, and of course I'm going to start with one of my favourite series of all time and one of my most hopeful, Banjo and Kazooie. I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you do, please share it with as many people as you can. That'll be a great motivator for us to keep tackling other series that you guys will want to see. And you can let me know what series you want to see in the comments below. So let's not waste any time and let's solve the puzzle on Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. Now thankfully, some of the work for me here is already done, as the fantastic Voyager has made a Banjo and Kazooie Dream Smasher article that is currently live on our website, and it's really good. The move ideas and theming is almost exactly what I would do for the character, and so I won't go into massive detail on it here, but check that article out if you want a full breakdown. A link to it will be below. I will, however, go over the main idea for Banjo and his special attacks. The Banjo-Kazooie series is a collectathon, and one of the best ones out there, so why not represent that aspect in Smash Bros? Many characters have ammo-based movesets, where the specials rely on a meter of some kind. Think of Robin specifically here. He has a certain limit to how many times each tome of his can be used, and players must wait for that to recharge. A similar thing can happen here. All of Banjo and Kazooie's specials require ammo. The neutral special is the Breagle Blaster, where Banjo holds Kazooie like a gun and fires eggs out of her mouth. Banjo has 10 eggs he can shoot out before running out of ammo, in which case the move will simply have Banjo stab forward with Kazooie instead, so you won't be left completely vulnerable. The down special also uses eggs, where Banjo crouches and drops a bouncing egg behind him. These use the same ammo count, and the ammo can be restored either by waiting a certain amount of time or doing damage to an opponent to speed up the process. The up special uses red feathers and is flight. They launch high into the sky, and for one feather the duo can get another flap for extra height. This can be done at max 3 times in one go before a free fall is forced, and the player has 8 feathers they can work through. When on 0 feathers, the duo can do the jump up for the recovery, but no extra additional jumps, and also the initial jump is not as high. Then the side special has Banjo perform a forward roll while Kazooie surrounds him with her wings. This is a standard roll when no gold feathers are present, but when Banjo does have some, the move can reflect projectiles and has super armor. Players only get 5 gold feathers however. Finally we have the final smash, which utilises a mumbo jumbo transformation power. Specifically the best one, the wishy washy washing machine. Banjo turns into a washing machine, his door opens and begins to suck in opponents. Anyone caught will receive a deadly clean before being spat out again in a giant soap bubble of doom that will continue off the stage unless the opponent can break free. Those are all the details for the moveset that I wanted to go into here, but before I leave this lovable duo to sit by the letterbox and wait for their invitation, let's cover some of the alt costumes Banjo and Kazooie might have. I think all the costumes will have to simply be recolors, no special alts like Cloud, Bayo and Joker, because there isn't really anything that would work for this duo, unless you want regular and then nuts and bolts design, but ugh. Keep the blockiness to Steve please. So the alts. The first 3 are all based on the multiplayer colours from Banjo-Tooie, with Kazooie adopting a matching colour, so red, blue and green. Then the 4th alt is based around the big bad witch Gruntilda, with the white Kazooie as a reference to her later skeleton form. Next we have a costume based on Mumbo Jumbo's colour scheme, followed by one based on Bottles the Mole. Kazooie also adopts some new colours based on the red and gold feathers respectively. The final alt is then based on Boggy the Bear, one of the few other bears in the series, with the light blue Kazooie not only referencing the third ammo type, eggs, but also the general coldness his children feel when he abandons them once again to starve as he gorges himself on exotic foods. Or, you know, just the general coldness associated with polar bears. Finally, Banjo's Kirby hat will have Kirby adopt Banjo's ears and his little hair tuft, as well as a miniature stuffed Kazooie that he can use to fire off eggs. So that does it for the bear and the bird themselves, but every good fighter needs a home. Sorry Rob. I still love you though. So what stage might this duo have? Well, I had 3 ideas, which I'll go over from least likely to most likely. First is a tour of Gruntilda's lair. This way they could get every stage involved in some way and could allow for a dynamic transforming level. However, so far most of the DLC stages, both here and in Smash 4, have been pretty static or simple. Super Mario Maker has multiple layouts, but once it picks one it doesn't really change it, so this might be unlikely. Next I thought about the top of Gruntilda's lair, a favourite for modders, where Gruntilda can fly about and fire attacks at the player in the same way as Kome and Kotake on Gerudo Valley. This one is good, just add some moving platforms around, but it's a bit boring visually speaking. It's all just dark clouds high in the sky. So instead I settled on the obvious choice of Spiral Mountain. Have the central platform be the tower in front of Grunty's lair with a lower slanted platform for the pathway up. Then there are 2 ways this could be tackled. One is to have a one-sided walk-off where the player fights on the bridge leading to Grunty's lair and can knock players into the witch's mouth themselves, or even climb on her rocky nose and hat. The alternative is to have Grunty's lair be the background piece and add some floating platforms around the main area, maybe some floating honeycombs? Of course, Gruntilda could also fly around here on both variants and act as the main hazard in the same way I explained earlier. This feels most likely to me, and Spiral Mountain is the most iconic area in the series. But what would a stage be without music? Pretty dull, I would imagine. We now have a rough idea on the number of music and remixes the fighter packs will get, and so with that in mind, here are my music choices for this DLC. Now onto Classic Mode. I had two ideas for this, the first being all-around platforming mascots like Mario and Sonic, but I then thought of something much better. Friendship! This is for Banjo and Kazooie, after all, so why not a theme all around the best of friends? Yeah! Level 1. Ice Climbers! Another obvious duo here and a simple start. Level 2. Rosalina and Luma. Another simple one-on-one fight, and also another character with "and" in the name. Level 3. Pokemon Trainer and Pikachu. I originally thought of just doing Pokemon Trainer here, but then I decided that making it a double battle was a cool idea. Not that Banjo and Kazooie have a partner, or maybe they do just for this one fight, like Incineroar and Banjo can be Ursaring. Level 4. Mario and Luigi. This just had to happen at some point during their classic mode. Another obvious choice is Level 5. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Rareware versus Rareware, it's fated to happen. Both have a similar buddy system as well, with Diddy sometimes being on DK's back. Level 6. Giant Duck Hunt Duo. And let's end this with a Mammal and Fowl versus another Mammal and Fowl. But these guys are giant, so that the difficulty is higher. It would also be cute to have the character that so many people claimed was the Banjo and Kazooie stand-in face off against the actual Banjo and Kazooie. Then of course there's the special stage, and the final boss would simply be Master Hand and Crazy Hand. But hey, at least this one still works with the theme, Roy. But okay, now onto the final part of the pass itself, the Spirit Battles. Thanks to the Fighter Pass, we now know that these will happen and will go in their own section. So what fights can we have? Obviously we will get a Banjo and Kazooie Fighter Spirit, probably based on artwork from their first game, but who else? Mumbo Jumbo is an obvious pick, and for this I went with Robin's blue alt on Guar Plains, as a representation of Mumbo Mountain. Occasionally the screen will flip, which increases the difficulty thanks to the stage. This makes Mumbo Jumbo an advanced primary spirit, probably an attack type. Next is Gruntilda. This match would be against Palutena in her Medusa-esque outfit. She comes with a jetpack and the screen is naturally foggy. Now depending on what stage Banjo gets in his Fighter Pass, and if Grunty is involved in it or not, this could be her Spirit Battle stage. Otherwise it is Gerudo Valley, so Kome and Kotake can get involved. Grunty is an ace spirit and a neutral type. Now, while Persona spirits didn't introduce any that could be enhanced, that does not rule them out entirely, and if anyone gets that treatment then it should be Grunty, who can enhance into Gruntilda from Nuts and Bolts, a legend class spirit who increases the damage of projectiles. The next primary spirit is Humbawamba, who is also an advanced type. She can be played by a Red Zelda on the battlefield version of New Pork City, and occasionally Rathalos will appear to help her fight, a reference to her Dragon Kazooie power-up. She would also be a grab type, just to really annoy Mumbo Jumbo. Then we have Klungo, Grunty's henchman. He's a novice primary spirit and attack type, and his battle would be against a green Donkey Kong, who is attracted to items like the Super Mushroom and Metal Box that will let him transform. Onto some supports. We have Bottles the Mole, played by Sonic, who you fight on the Garden of Hope battlefield variant. The only item is the Pitfall item, and occasionally an earthquake might happen to trip foes up. The next supports are the Jinjos. These are represented by Kirby, and you fight 6 of them in a row. Once all are defeated, a giant yellow Kirby for the Jinjo King will appear, and he must be defeated to win. And then we have the Lord of Games from Nuts and Bolts. Another support, he's played by a Gold Rob, and the Colour TV Game Assist trophy will appear to get in the way. That's it for the Banjo and Kazooie spirits, but fans who have been keeping up with the data mining might know that the names of Rare Games Blast Corps and Star Twins, known to us as Jet Force Gemini, were found in the game's Spirit section. While possibly scrapped content, with this in mind I decided that we needed to represent some other Rare games here in the Spirits, and so here are a few more. Considering we have that data for Blast Corps and Jet Force Gemini, they both need at least one spirit, and I made them both supports. The Ramdozer from Blast Corps is played by Bowser on the battlefield version of Wrecking Crew, and an Isaac Assist trophy will appear to push players off. Then for the Jet Force Gemini, players will have to fight a Blue Samus, Captain Falcon and Duck Hunt all at once on Shadow Moses Island. We have 3 more spirits to go now, all primary, and starting with the most obvious choice we have Conker the Squirrel. an advanced defense type played by a yellow and blue Diddy Kong on Congo Falls. Occasionally the controllers will reverse, representing the player having a, let's call it a bad day. Then the next spirit is a novice and is Joanne Dark, played by a blue Zero Suit Samus. This battle takes place on Fallside, where the only items spawning are various types of guns. Finally, the Legend battle, and this takes the form of Wizpig, the main antagonist of Diddy Kong Racing. I wanted at least one Diddy Kong Racing spirit here while I had the chance. Wizpig is a giant Ganondorf who occasionally receives a final smash. Truly terrifying. The stage is also Port Town Aerodrive, so that makes it even more chaotic. And that does it for all the spirits. Just take in that sight. Wouldn't it be a rare treat for us Smash fans? Well, that does it for all the content in the Fighters Pass, but in my Persona video I talked about Mii costumes, and I was right. So let's do the same thing here, although I only have 2 this time. First is a Mumbo Jumbo Mii Sword Fighter. The skull head and purple tight combo will make your Mii truly magic. And then I wanted to do another fighting game character while I have the chance, so a full gore Mii costume from Killer Instinct would be great. I want to say that despite the electric blades on his arms, he would be a Mii Brawler costume, as we don't really have one of them yet. And, well, that does it for Banjo-Kazooie content I hope to see in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed that you would like to see. As always, a lovely shout out to our patrons, in particular our super patron the Duke of Dorks, link to his channel below as well. Also, if you need something to listen to, why not listen to that Dragon Quest discussion I did? It's 2 parts and we go over it with someone who's a much bigger expert on the series than myself, so it's fairly accurate. Go on, just give it a click, and then remember to always return to the source.